As we told you earlier in the half hour, the state's public school sports schedules will change quite a bit with the opening of football moved back to the weekend of September 11th. We're joined by Michael Fanning, Athletic Director for SCISA, joining us remotely. Mike, welcome in. What's the plan for the private schools?
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. Right now, we are still on schedule. We just entered phase 2.5 for our schools, and in phase 2.5, that allows a team to actually do a little bit of offense versus defense only within their school program. So football teams can do 7-on-7 only within their school program. Volleyball teams, the offense can actually hit against the defense only within their school program.
Okay. What is the expected start date then for seeing games? You said you're on schedule. Which weekend were you going to start?
We will continue to monitor. Our plans are first day of official practice is Thursday, July 30th.
Okay.
And on that, we'll introduce football helmets. And we'll go through a period of heat acclimation. And in those 7 or 8 or 9 days, that gives us another 2 to 3 weeks of medical documentation. But week 0 and week 1 are still on as scheduled at this point. Yes, sir.
Okay. What in particular are you monitoring? What are you watching for to say this is either going well or it's not?
Yes, sir. We will monitor what's happening within our school communities. We started allowing 1.0 back in the first week in June. And our coaches in our schools have been very diligent of all the protocols. We haven't seen that spike within a school program. Our biggest challenge is probably the school program is the one place where the kids are under heavy scrutiny. The ideal situation that maybe to jump forward and I'll come back is what we anticipate is when kids are back on campus in school, and most of our schools are indicating they will offer on campus in-person instruction. A child should be medically screened by their parents that morning. How are you feeling? Do you have a temperature? Let me check you out. They go to school, they're going to be medically screened at school. They go to practice that afternoon, they're going to be medically screened by the athletic trainer or the coaches. When they go back home that night, the parents, how was your day? How do you feel? So in theory, 4 times a day, student athletes will be medically screened. And we're trying to institute that awareness that they've got to self-assess. If I don't feel well, I've got to stay home. I've got to go to the doctor. I can't go to school. I can't go to practice. So we're going to monitor what's happening within the school, probably more so than what's happening in the state.
Okay. And you're saying pretty much every day, not just the first day of school, but you're talking to this, going through all of this pretty much every day, right?
Every day. That seems to be the new normal. One philosophy or position that we take is we want to make high school athletics as safe as possible.
Absolutely.
So we cannot eliminate the risk of injury just by playing. We cannot eliminate the risk of concussions. We cannot eliminate the risk of heat illness, heat stroke. Also, we cannot eliminate the risk of exposure to infectious disease such as mononucleosis, staph infection, influenza.
Right.
And now we feel like COVID-19 has been added to that. We'll try to put rules, practices, and procedures in place to minimize that, but we cannot eliminate any of those risks.
Okay. It is a bridge we still have to cross. We haven't gotten there yet. Any thoughts on fans attending the games? What phase does that come in, and where are you there?
Very good. Sometimes smaller is better. And I would say at a typical SCISA football game where we have several hundred enthusiastic fans, it is much easier to social distance 200 fans between the goal line and goal line using the bleachers and lawn chairs than our public school counterparts or the college that has thousands of people taking the thing. We would love that situation of having 2,000 fans. That's not the reality we live in. We have several hundred fans.
So you're going to leave that up to the schools, or will that be something that'll come down from SCISA?
Schools. Our plans is to open our events to fans.
Okay.
We will follow any county or city mandates such as face masks. We will encourage and use social distancing. Mm-hmm. We will make suggestions such as maybe a special section of the bleachers should be designated off so the younger families are not there, for grandparents who want to come and support a grandchild, or a parent who wants to support a child but wants to sit away from one else. We will also put in procedures in place, such as after the ball game, instead of going on the field and telling your son or your team, I'm proud of you, go to the parking lot, go home, text them later.
All right, football's on and on schedule, at least for now. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Michael Fanning, Athletic Director for the state's private high schools.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Obviously, we want to thank Michael Fanning, Steve Riley, and Hannah Horn for joining us. More importantly, we thank you for taking the time to check us out on the Hilton Head News. We'll be checking you out from a distance around our island home this week.